Okay. Bucs-Giants. Spread's 1.5. Let's check the update on that. Over under, still 1.5. I see 2 at Caesars. I see 1 at William Hill. Over under is 52. The Giants, do you buy into I mean, we've talked about this before, and usually it's when a team goes on the road. This one, they're coming home. Do you buy into the short week? I mean, the Giants played Monday night at San Francisco, so their plane landed at probably 8 o'clock Tuesday morning, and they're from a cross country trip, and they're back to work Wednesday morning. That's tough. That's a tough week.
Yeah, no, it is a tough week. Yeah, especially going on the West Coast. I mean, I think the travel does play a huge role. And we talk about it all the time on the Thursday night games. That plays a huge role for Thursday night games. But yeah, I mean, I think a little more underrated than that is going from Monday night to Sunday night. And yeah, the Giants are at home, but like you said, having to make that cross country trip, that's a long trip.
Right.
And yeah, even though the Giants pull off a win last week, yeah, it's tough, especially when you get into week 11 of the season, week 12, week 13. Yeah, I mean, I buy into that the body just it's hard for the body to recover.
Right. The Bucs I mentioned last week, so 501 yards and 3 points. That's a rough outing. But they did mention in the Redskins offense I talked about before. They did hold them to under 300 yards, so not bad. And the Giants, look, we're a little more optimistic than last week about the Giants because they actually won a game, but on the road. But let's remember they beat a bad team with a third-string quarterback. You know, it's. I don't love them. It's hey, it's nice. It beats losing, but I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I'm leaning the Giants just because I don't like the Bucs defense either. I could go either way on this.
Yeah, well, it's the offensively, yeah, they put up lots of yards that the Buccaneers do, but they have at least 2 turnovers every game since week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And in 4 of those games, they've had 4 turnovers. So they don't do a good job of taking care of the ball, which is a problem, obviously.
Yeah.
I still think Fitzpatrick is a better option than Jameis Winston at this point. I'd rather see him start. I don't know. What do you think? Would you rather have starting if you're a Tampa Bay fan? Fitzmagic or Winston?
At this point, what are they, 3-6?
Yeah.
I would start Jameis.
Yeah.
I'd see if we could, because your season's you're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
You want Jameis back next year or not? Because you got to, it's not tag. I think they can tender him. I don't know the exact contract situation, but they can bring him back next year or they can sign him to an extension, and they sort of have to figure that out. I mean, Fitzpatrick is a short-term solution. And I understand you got a locker room full of guys who want to win, but I don't think Fitz is that much better than Jameis. You look at, I don't know if he's better than Jameis at all. I know Jameis had that horrible game in Cincinnati, threw 4 picks, and it was just a disaster. And I could imagine the guys on the team like, oh my God, get this guy out of here. But I think you got to. I think the rest of the way you got to ride that out, and I don't want to say see what you got because you've had him for 4 years, but see if some of this is the problems are fixable, and try to help get more data on whether you want to move forward with him or not.
I still think you're not out of the playoffs yet for Tampa Bay. You got New York and San Francisco the next 2 weeks, both of which are winnable games. They probably should win both those games, and then you got Carolina and New Orleans. So 2 division rivals. So they'll be big underdogs in the Panthers Saints games, but they have a chance, I think. And I think maybe next week, if they lose to the Giants, then you go back to Winston and say, okay, well, we're done with Fitzpatrick. But I think there's still got to be a mentality of, we're still in this, we can still get that second wild card spot. I don't mind them starting Fitzpatrick here because I think they still have a chance. They still have a slight chance to make some noise.
So let's assume, pick an NFC North winner.
An NFC North winner?
Yeah, pick one. Either Bears or Vikings.
Yeah, Bears. I don't know. I still go with the Vikings.
Okay. So the Bucs have to beat out 2 out of Seattle, Carolina, and Chicago to get to the playoffs. That's really hard from where they are.
Yeah.
And they're their defense is atrocious. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I get that they can improve. Do you think they have that much more of a chance to improve with Fitz than they do with Jameis?
For this season?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're a better team with Fitzpatrick. If you're Dirk Cotter and you're coaching for your job,
Right.
and you need to make the playoffs for your job, then it's too early to give up. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying about they're going to have to leapfrog a bunch of other good teams. Though I don't think you can just say, well, let's ride it out. Let's go with Winston and see what we got in the future, because I don't think there's going to be a future for Dirk Carter if they don't make the playoffs. So if you're in a situation where you're a first year coach and you got some time for John Gruden, you got 10 years, $100 million contract, then it's different. Right. If you're coaching for your career. This could be the only head coaching job he ever gets. I think you got to stick with the guy who's going to potentially lead you to the playoffs, even though those chances are pretty small.
All right. Well, you got the Bucs, I got the Giants. And what do we got here? 67% of the experts are with the Giants. 61% of the fans are with the Giants. So as a Giants fan, I hope I'm right, but we'll see. Next up, people coming in to visit before school. What's going on?
Yeah, they're just the house is slowly beginning to wake up. So I thought she was my daughter needs something, but no, she just wants to say good morning.
All right. What time do they leave for school?
Not till about 7:30, not to my time, so about 45 minutes. We're really close to the school, so we don't have to get up for a bus or anything like that.
Oh, that's cool. We used to be like that. Now we're at bus. Now my son leaves at 6:40.
Oh my God! So he's gone already. He's been gone for an hour already.
He's been gone. My wife took him to school because long story, we don't have a bus here. It's a whole big mess, but whatever. Anyway, actually, like the bus in the morning comes at 6:02. Which we kind of thought was a little, overboard. So we were like, I don't want to baby my kid, but I'm not going to get on the bus at 6 o'clock.
That's pretty ridiculous.